We're on a podcast together doing podcast shit.
We're live, mother friggers.
Nice. What's up, dude? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, man. 2 weeks since the last time I saw your pretty face, except for Facebook.
Yeah, how's it look?
So,
How do I look today?
well, today, not much different than the last time.
Likewise for you, but you look like you're getting ready to do like a family photo shoot or something with your blank wall back there.
Okay. So the elephant in the room, where's all my bodies and all that stuff? Well, I am in the new studio at the new warehouse for Beach RC, and it is not even close to being done. But you know what has to happen is the show must go on. And,
Absolutely.
Here I am with a blank wall behind me. So,
well, I'm glad you got it done. I'm sure it's a little weird jumping into a new facility and everything like that, but I mean, if anybody knows you, they know you're comfortable with a little wood behind you. So,
what a dick. The good thing about this studio is I got Robert right next to me now, whereas like he was between a wall, or we had a window and a wall, and now we can look at each other and just lip read how big of a dick you are sometimes.
Perfect, dude. Man, you'll have it dialed in no time, dude. Stoked. Absolutely. I'm sure you're excited for the new adventure. So as am I for you.
I am excited. I am a little bummed. We had our last we had the last Hoorah Palmetto Classic last weekend at our shop. One of the reasons why I couldn't be at DNC. But man, it's bittersweet. We got to see a lot of amazing people that have supported me through thick and thin. There's actually 2 individuals there that have been to every Masters and every Palmetto that I ever put on. I've just people that have supported and kept those doors open for 10 years. All of them were there, and it was nice. It was really, really good. Everything went freaking squeaky clean, spotless, and 13 mains into 31 mains on Saturday night. Everything's going good. 13 mains in, my computer crashes dead. Dead. Couldn't get it back going. So we had to rebuild the freaking mains and redo everything in live RC as fast as I possibly could. It took me an hour and 15 minutes to get it back going. When we got the races back going, finished all the main events, only lost a couple people that left. But yeah, that other than that, I mean, I've been in that building for 10 years, never once had a computer crash and die on me. It just happens on the very last night. So that was a bummer, but here we are. The show went on, and everyone had a good time, and we gave a little dirt out that day, and that was really fun.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a pretty cool trophy that y'all did for that. Very cool. So yeah.
How about you, man? You been good?
Been good.
You sobered up?
I think so. I'm still feeling a little, nitro hangover from the DNC, but we're back. Definitely took a full day to recover from that one. But it was a good DNC. As everybody saw, it started out super wet, but Joey and the crew worked their asses off and made it happen again. Somehow DNC always happens,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's good at that. They, I mean, you might lose a qualifier or something, but Joey and crew always make sure, Joey and Aaron always make sure you get to race. So I appreciate them for that. I know the amount of work that goes into stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah. And especially with Saturday and Sunday being beautiful, it was awesome. Everybody deserved that break in the weather. It would have sucked if it was like that the whole time, for sure. Like the 2 years ago when it was just wet and rainy the whole damn time. This time everybody got, Saturday and Sunday got to put their t-shirts on, take all their cold weather gear off during the day and enjoy a little bit of California for everybody that traveled out. So
nice.
That was cool for sure. I was in shorts and a t-shirt on Saturday and Sunday. So that was awesome. Till night fell. When night fell, it got cold as shit again, but
that's DNC also.
Yeah.
What is DNC without rain and cold evenings?
Yeah, for sure. But the mountains looked amazing because it dumped a bunch of snow on the local mountains. So I mean, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. Made for great racing. Track held up pretty darn good. I must say, it definitely had some crazy bumps, but it wasn't like too gnarly where the people couldn't get good drives in, things like that. It was sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Loved it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it looked awesome. It looked amazing. I those are the kind of tracks that I love. Obviously I wish I could have been there, but circumstances were a little bit different for me this time. So until next year.
Until next year, everybody, thanks for saying hi and everything in the chat. I see you guys chiming in there and everything like that. What do you say we drop that intro, man? We got a special guest tonight, Sean VanDalen. If you don't know who Sean VanDalen is, it is Seth VanDalen's 2025 Pro Truggy champion of DNC. And yeah, we're going to drop that intro. Say thanks to our sponsors after that.
The following podcast is a group of people who will be talking shit, drinking, using cuss words and living their best lives. The opinions or views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of their sponsors, supporters or anyone important outside of the four walls of the show. If you are not 18 or older, we suggest talking to your parents about this podcast before watching it and becoming scarred for life. We hope you will enjoy this and not get butthurt or become a keyboard warrior after taking it all in. Thank you for watching and supporting us on our journey.
What is up? We're live.
What?
If you're listening,
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Now we're officially live.
Let's do this.
Well, welcome to the Wheel and Trigger podcast. If you didn't get the first little bit of the show, we've got Sean VanDalen's in the house. He's waiting backstage until we get through our opening ceremonies, as you should say. And we're excited to talk to him. He's a thrill of a guy. Super cool dude. Home of one of the fastest pro Nitro Truggy racers at the maker of the fastest pro Truggy racer at DNC this year in the pro class. So yeah, I want to thank our sponsors, main title sponsor, OneUp Racing, ProMotion, Nitro Pro, and Tekno. I know ProMotion just dropped a new wheel that they had out there at DNC. Supposed to be stronger, faster, lighter, all that good stuff. Also has more clearance for your turnbuckles. Pull up that pic, Robert, if you can. Boom. Sick round ass wheel. That's supposed to be really good. So that's that for ProMotion. Tekno obviously had probably one of the most killer DNCs they could possibly ask for, winning every category at DNC in every class. So in the pro class. So that's amazing feat of awesomeness that they did. We'd also like to thank J&T, Wolfden, TZO, Beach RC, RC Sign Up, RC Box Club, Racecraft USA, and we got ourselves a new sponsor, Brent.
We do, and I'm really stoked about this one, to be honest with you.
Super hyped about this one. We just got ourselves Get Shit Done coffee.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I ran into Frank Sell at DNC. We hit it off right away. He's got a very cool coffee company. Get shit done. I think I wanted to say get shit done as many get shit done times as I could on the show today. So yeah, man, get shit done coffee.
Speaks for itself.
Yeah, and their slogan is Make America Grind Again.
That's even radder.
How can you beat that? They can't get touched. So they do ground coffee right here. Got some right here. I don't personally drink this stuff, but it looks cool in the bag. I'll give it to somebody at some point. But what I'm down for is the cans, man. And these cans are straight rocket fuel. You can't get any better Christian crack than those things. I tell you what. I was gonna have one on the show, but then I realized I wouldn't be able to sleep. So Yeah, it's good.
I'm
It's
looking
good shit.
forward to them
It
showing up
tastes
here.
good. They also have K-cups, a bunch of cool clothes. If you want the word shit on your hat, you can definitely get one on their website. So go check them out, homieofthehustle.com. Cool guys, supports a lot of entrepreneurs. Frank Sells behind the program. And yeah, we figured he'd be a great fit for the podcast. And yeah, we're stoked to have him on board.
Yeah, for sure. Stoked about all of them. And I'm stoked about just everything in general. And it just keeps on getting better and better. So what do we got on the schedule for tonight before we bring in our big boss man?
Do you have any new products? Weird products? You got any weird news?
Do we have anything? Oh, I say you. I've been so busy. Robert does
I need an assistant, dude. That sends me my shit.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got stuff. Maybe we should do them later.
I mean, we can. I sent Robert one thing. I don't know if it's the best thing, but I heard about it on another podcast today.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I don't know if we should show this one early on in the show.
Okay, yeah, we could pass on that one. But if you're listening to the Theo Vaughn podcast, Danny McBride was on Eastbound and Down, dude.
I love Danny McBride.
Yeah, well, they were on that podcast, and it was a gift that Danny McBride gave Theo Vaughn, so I thought that it'd be pretty funny. I've seen him on Instagram and stuff. So if you've watched that podcast, you know what I'm talking about. Looks like Jason Flower. I'm not sure how to totally pronounce that, but if you check out Bipolar, they've got the Wheel and Trigger logo on file. So if you want to get some stickers made, he can do it in all your colors and everything like that, because I have them done for my body. So yeah. And then I see Brian Eider is watching. And if you didn't know, Brian Eider destroyed FTC. We didn't really do a FTC recap, but he was sure to remind me that we didn't when I saw him at DNC, and to remind everybody that he won every classes, even classes that don't exist out at that race. So yeah, man. Good job, Brian Eider. Always killing it.
Brian Eider is so fast for a 73-year-old. So, and I know why he wants all those like 50 and 70 and 80-year-old plus classes, because he can run more than just 2 classes. He could run like 5 or 6 of them. So
he wins them all. So
go
get him, champ.
I'm stoked for Brian Eider, because that dude, he's wicked fast, and I'm looking forward to getting a race against him soon. I know it's probably going to be Nats next time I get to race against him, unless he shows up at PNB. But yeah, dude's awesome, and congrats for all your success at FTC. I don't know how everybody did at DNC because of the weekend that I had. I couldn't follow everything. It was a busy weekend for me, and I haven't even had, because I had to play catch up, I haven't had time to even look. I just know who won Pro Nitro Truggy and Pro Nitro Buggy. That's all I know. So
yeah, I mean, Brian, he was in the 40 plus A main, and I'm not sure of the complete lineup for the 40 plus A main, but if anybody knows, it's all like old world champs, and Mark Pavidis and Saxton and Dagani and all the Chicky and all these Thielkes, and all these gnarly retired pros for the most part. And I'm pretty sure he's the only Joe in the A main. So, and he was up there dicing it up with all those guys. So he can hang with those bad dogs. You know what I mean?
Makes me a little jelly. I think I need to practice a little more so I can get up there and duke it.
For sure.
Well, he just commented he'll be at PNB. So Brian, I'll see you at PNB and not Nats. So I'll be there for sure. All right.
I would just say don't be doing any Lukovic bets with Eider, because he will smoke your ass.
No, I would never. Lukovic is no Eider. But I'll make a bet with Lukovic somewhere in the near future, because I know he is 100% itching to go at it again
for a rematch.
Yeah, a legit rematch. All right. Well, do we want to cover anything on DNC, or is it all covered based on
I think obviously Facebook was full of all the results. Everybody knows the results, but it'd be great to hear Sean VanDalen's take on it, and we can do a little recap with that. with
All right,
him.
so why don't we play our new commercial from our title sponsor of OneUp, and after that, we will bring in Sean VanDalen.
Awesome.
If you want the best titanium hardware for your RC car or truck, then look no further. I'm Randy from OneUp Racing, and you need to check out Pro Duty.
All right, something happened there. It's not playing any sound.
I heard
no
sound.
idea. You did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Play it
All right, here
again.
we go.
If you want the best titanium hardware for your RC car or truck, then look no further. I'm Randy from OneUp Racing, and you need to check out Pro Duty titanium hardware. My screws are super strong and incredibly light, like we're talking nearly half the weight of your kit hardware. Perfect if you're looking to cut weight and boost performance. I've got some of the sleekest and strongest turnbuckles available, super lightweight lockdown wheel nuts, and a line of specialty hardware to take your build to the next level. All designed in-house and made to our specs by expert machinists who know how to make it right every time. You're gonna love it. Pick one up for every build.
All right.
Dude, Randy is just, that was the first time I saw that commercial. Randy is slaying the commercial games. I mean, those are like motion pictures, dude.
Yeah,
Very cool.
but I don't. Robert didn't even get the video on his computer. I got no sound on my computer. When I loaded them earlier, I had sound. So weird. But all right, why don't we bring in the man?
All right. Everybody welcome Sean VanDalen.
Boom, yeah. What's
Hey,
up,
man?
big firm?
Just having a good night.
Perfect. It can't be any better than your Saturday night. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. So
take us back, because I know that I think it was my first DNC that I went to. I know that Seth 1 year in intermediate you guys were running the S10 bodies or C10 bodies or something like that. Wasn't that at DNC? Did he win intermediate?
I think no, we actually debuted the farm truck body at 2017 Nats State Line, I think it is. Yeah, okay. State Line. So yeah, that was got a little love, got a little hate from that. You know, I mean, we do, you know, Chase saw me this weekend, had a little different, you know, pit caddy action going on. So we do some odd things like that. And look at the, you know, I mean, Tekno's current truck body is a real looking truck. It's not the giant buggy bodies that some might complain about, that it's not authentic truck. So Tekno took it to a new level, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so going back to
I wouldn't mind bringing the farm truck back.
The farm truck was rad, but see, that's what I thought I saw 1 year. Then he was running intermediate, and he either won it or did very well at it, or bumped a lot. I can't remember exactly what happened. Did he win intermediate DNC 1 year in truck?
He has never raced at DNC other than the pro class.
Okay. Well, then I'm thinking somewhere else. But yeah. All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the big win. Seth has been, you know, I'm a big fan of Seth. I wouldn't say over the last 12 months he's not been on a super struggle bus, but prior to that, things weren't going his way for a little while. And it's like you guys found, it's like Wicked Weekend a year and a half ago. You know, he found a lot of speed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this weekend, I mean, we just went there. I just went there. I wasn't racing. I did race at SIC, you know, late last year, I think SIC was, or whatever, but I didn't race here. I didn't bring my gear. I just decided I was just going to wrench and be as much supportive as I could. So a lot of it, man, is just, it's a lot for a pro driver, you know, to go out and do that. And sometimes he goes without me. I mean, he's performed well. I mean, Wicked Weekend that you talked about, not that we're bringing up different races, but that was without me, dude. He performed really good. Yeah. So it isn't like I'm his crutch. Please don't think that I think that or anyone else should think that. But this weekend, man, we gelled. We talked a lot. Even like we were looking at his truck a few times, and it's like, I'm like, Seth, it's not compliant on power. I said, your truck just in power or just moving in power in the bumps is good. It just does whatever you want it to. I said, but the minute you start applying power, I'm like, the back end isn't compliant. I'm like, it starts getting upset. And I said, to me, as a mechanic, I'm like, you got to take anti-squat out. I'm like, because that's your on power resistance, you know. And he's like, no, we can't take it out. And I'm like, he's like, I'll lose. And I'm like, I said, you know, and we kind of talked openly. I'm like, but you'll lose forward drive, you know, if you take anti-squat. Yeah, it makes the back end more compliant, easier through the bumps, but you lose forward drive. And there was a couple of jumps on there that, I mean, you needed to scoot, dude, you know, and then, you know, coming out of the corner everywhere, the car's just a little bit slower. So he didn't want to do that. So we changed a shock package in the rear of the truck. Instead, little piston package change so that it would pack up less on the hard bumps and accelerating. And yeah, man, he was going through the whoops like crazy.
Yeah.
So
Bananas.
It was just,
Seth had
we had a,
and I think, you know, like we talked after that warm up, I was like, man, he's gonna win this thing, dude. Like,
yeah, like Chase came up to me after the warm up, and Seth was on a tear. Number one. So guys, like, I feel I am a real experienced pit guy, but during that race, man, having to do a splash and go at the end really kind of, you know, question marks it, you know. But Seth put his truck on kill for the warm up, and it came in pinging pretty hard. And I know that we don't want to start a 45-minute race with an engine that hot, and we're gonna be under the lights, which means the barometric pressure, all that stuff. Motor's gonna run even leaner. So I'm like, dude, you can't go into this main with that motor that hot. We just can't. And so that kind of, we did a fuel run, and it kind of was like, you know, man, you know, wished it wasn't that hot so I could have got an accurate fuel run, you know. So I did bring him in one lap early. I brought him in on the 12th lap. Usually we'd go 13, which would have been just over 9 minutes. And I looked at what was left in the gun, and he had about 15 cc's left. Now 15 cc's, that's about a minute's worth of runtime. You know, 13 to 15 cc's is what these trucks kind of take, you know, or what we've experienced, you know, with the ultimate engines. MTS, I think he's running right now. And that minute, that is 13 laps, man. That gave him another 40 seconds to make that, but it didn't give him another one to go 14. So when I went 12 on the first one to figure out fuel mileage, it really it did screw us over because we didn't have enough fuel mileage to go 14. I could have went 12 on the first one and then went 13 and 13 and 13 and then stayed one lap in front of Mayfield's pits, for instance. But instead, what was happening is I talked with Mike Morales. I don't know if you guys know Mike at all, old school pro. Dude's awesome. Pitted with us all weekend, hung out, gearhead, builds huge engines that weigh like 20,000 pounds for these like water treatment plants and stuff. I mean, just crazy. Anyway, he's in there and we're talking and we're figuring out fuel mileage and we're figuring out this, you know, for the race, and Seth's just driving his ass off. And I'm like, dude, you know, if I do this, you know, 12 and I skip to 13, which we totally can, he's still going to have a window where he's going to have to go 14 laps. And so we went with another 12 just to see what the fuel was. And again, at 12 laps, he came off with 15. So it's like, there's no way he's going to make a 14. He's going to run out. You know, I'm like, we're just going to go with the 12 lap strategy the whole way through. And then we have a really big window to pick our splash and go. So we could do a splash and go with 9 minutes left, you know, which would pit, you know, 2 minutes apart. You know, he pitted with like 10 and a half minutes or whatever left, you know, or 11 minutes. And then, you know, we could have pitted at 9 and went the distance. But that gave us a huge window. And we really used that. I talked with Mike, and we really used that to pick when he went in. So when he went in, he was actually, he wasn't scheduled, or where I didn't want to do, for at least another 2 laps, but he came up on a gaggle of 4 cars. So if you rewatch it and you watch when I bring him in, he was coming up on a gaggle of 4 cars in front of him, and he had 6 6 to 7 seconds on Mayfield at this point. And I knew it was just a splash and go. So it's going to be my fastest pit stop. I was doing, like mid 5-second pit stops, just keeping up with all the other guys, I mean, Fenn's guy does them that fast. Truey, Mayfield's pit guy does them that fast. We all are very efficient. We're all single man pit stops. These 2-guy pit stops, they can be fast, but they're a little bit cumbersome. And sometimes, bad stuff happens with that.
Yeah. Arms getting each other's way and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can even watch one of my last pit stops. I think it was the second to last pit stop. I brought him in. And there was a car coming behind me, so I just left the fuel gun in for an extra second. It was probably my slowest pit, but I wanted to make sure it was full, I mean, we just had to do that, and we came in with, Seth had 7-8 seconds, I think, on Mayfield at that point. Came in, did a 4.5-second pit stop, our fastest of the event, and he managed to hang on to it, man. Like really. Everybody's, like the announcers, I didn't get to listen to that. They're kind of, I don't know, they're a little bit bagging on him. Like, he's wrecking. Mayfield was wrecking too. It isn't, they were going through the same bumps, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did a kid that started 8th, drop to 12th on the first lap? I think really honestly, yes, Mayfield and Seth really battled. They did. They went back and forth, but they never really battled. Seth came in and kind of got badly, kind of tried to go on the outside through the whoops, and use some speed, but then he didn't have the inside. So Mayfield had the inside, but really for me in the pits, Lutz, dude, the battle of Seth and Lutz battling back and forth for like 5th or 6th, dude, those guys, like, I know Lutz is kind of bagged on Seth a little bit about him being rough, but Lutz is pretty rough to Seth too. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Those two, dude, did not throw any elbows. Dude, like it was in the middle of the race. This is like 9 minutes in or whatever. And they're just on each other, dude, like 2 feet apart for laps. I mean, Seth would get the inside, and then they'd go up over the back roller, and then Lutz would power down the inside of him. And it's like, Jesus, he just got by him. It's like, man, he worked for 4 laps to get by you. And, Seth didn't really, lose his line. He just, Lutz just motored back. And they were so cordial, dude. Like, so like, I was really pumped, dude. I really can. I can say I was really pumped that race, but I was a little bit apprehensive because it's like, this is holding him up, dude. He's got the speed to go forward, but this battle with Lutz is costing him some time.
Yeah.
But it was. So if you go back and rewatch it and you can see that, because there was a couple of good shots of him and Lutz, they really went back and forth. It was that was really good, man. I got hats off to Lutz. They were ex-teammates, they were on Tekno together. So, we even went to Worlds in Australia with them. Yeah. So
nice.
It was good.
Yeah, it was definitely an exciting race, man. It was an exciting race, and it was awesome. 1, 2, 3 for Tekno. I mean, the whole thing was crazy. Amazing. Spencer and Mayfield
I was so happy. I came up to Spencer afterwards, and I congratulated him, and he's like, "Oh man," I'm like, "Dude, really honestly," I said, "I'm just happy for Tekno that it's a top 3, but." I am going to tell you that I'm definitely way happier that it was Seth that won it, that led the group. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, dude, you got to think of it, man. That kid's been racing since, 7 years old. I got pictures of him when he was 8. We were running stock buggy outside, and he's on the podium next to me. I won. He took second. Another one of the racetrack owners in the state of Minnesota, really fast on-road dude, Andrew Maury, is on the podium in 3rd. So it's like to see this old photo, of two racetrack owners, and then see this tiny little kid, putting it on him. He did. I was coming to lap him, and the crowd just went crazy. No free passes and all kinds of stuff, and he ran me all the way to the pipe. At 7 years old, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So
if it was going to be a Tekno that won, I'm definitely glad it was VanDalen. So that's the Tekno I'm rooting for sure.
Yeah, man. The MTS dude that he's running right now. I put it through my Evis machines. I think Brent, I talked to him about it before, but yeah. So I do my own stuff. I do a few little mods to the motor, and I offer that as a service too. But it really doesn't add any power. It's not like we're down on power with the Ultimates at all, but I just work on efficiency of the motor, and it just makes it more complete combustion burn. So, we gain a little bit of mileage, 20 seconds or so, maybe on a tank, from flowing, it's an air pump. So you just kind of flow it. So yeah. And man, dude, it rocked, dude. That thing, he had the horsepower. He'd go down the inside on that second triple and just rip it. A few times, dude, I think he got by Tebow there during the main. He went double single and jumped to the inside of Tebow. Tebow went triple, but Tebow went around the outside and Seth went down the inside. So it was pretty cool to watch that, hey, the double single wasn't actually that much slower.
It really wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
dude,
cool.
the emotions got to me after that though, dude. I was a wreck, just a wreck.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Like I said, 7 years old, we've been traveling since he was, 12 or so, 13, and to finally get a big win in the pro class, probably at the most prestigious race, in the US, I mean, I think the only thing that you could say is bigger is, Worlds.
Yeah. Outside of Worlds, it's definitely one of the biggest
so
ones.
I mean, it's not in the, I don't want to take anything away from it. It's an awesome run. So I wish it could have been a buggy win too. I wish we could have split it with Mayfield, but Mayfield, dude, he's at the top of his game still. Like
Unreal.
People are like, oh, even like the announcers are like, oh, maybe it's a changing of the guard. Not yet. Yeah. Mayfield ain't going nowhere, dude.
Not even close. But dude, nah. I mean, every fucking race he shows up.
Fenn's not going nowhere.
No.
But
no.
So we got.
There's
we
a
just
damn
gotta,
few quick kids though that we don't know when they're going to start dominating. But right now, you have to beat Mayfield or Finn. Like that's just what you have to do.
The thing is at a big race like this, like I coach kids. Like I got a youngster here. It's about 2 hours from my house. It's up in Duluth, Minnesota. Sully Sawinski, dude, just turned 16 today. Happy birthday, Sully!
Happy birthday, Sully!
Dude. Man, that kid for maybe I think 2 years now, he's been running. Dude, kid's fast. He comes to all my club races. He camps here. We got a big grass area around the racetrack. We got tons of campers, stuff like that. And he hangs out, man, on Sunday. And him and I on Sunday, we talk about racecraft and racing lines. And I go out and I practice with him head to head. Now he's putting it on me, dude. Kid's faster than me.
Talk about that.
So yeah, racecraft. Yeah.
I like it.
Well, I'm talking about the stuff that Seth pulls off, when he does inside outside moves, that kind of racecraft.
Setting people up. That's racecraft.
Like even DNC, like knowing he knew after the very second pit stop when I pulled him 12 and 12 that he was when he saw that Mayfield went 2 laps instead of 1 lap after him, he knew he had to do a splash to go at that point. So at that point, he wasn't in the lead yet, but he knew that once he got to the lead, he was going to have to get a 5-6 second gap in order to keep
hold back.
Yeah, he knew. I mean, we don't wear headsets. I think the announcer asked him, "Oh, your dad was talking to you?" No, dude. He gets real mad. Like if I even tell him his lap time, if he has a really good lap and I tell him his lap time, he tells me shut up.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a headset guy myself.
He does not want to be distracted whatsoever, while he's driving. And I get it. There's other pros that don't wear them either. So, but yeah,
I can't run them either.
Yell. You can hear me 2 counties over yelling him to pit now or pit this lap. Yeah. So
very cool. So I think we definitely ironed out that amazing win and victory at DNC. Let's talk a little bit about young Sean VanDalen. How did young Sean VanDalen get into RC cars and where did all this come from?
Actually, it was on a jeeping outing in California. My parents had split, divorced. My mom moved to California. I have relatives in like Phoenix, San Bernardino, Hemet. We were on a jeeping run. My family on my mom's side jeeps, goes to Moab, does all this stuff. But anyway,
Right.
we're, in California, and these kids have these RC cars. One was an old Tamaya's Willie's Jeep,
Yep.
and one was a Nitro A scale. And man, that thing was cool.
Yeah.
So I went home, man. I did all kinds of stuff, baled hay. I live out in the country. That's what farm kids do. Saved my money, bought an RC car.
Nice.
So that's what started it all. I think I was like 13, 14, somewhere around there. And by the age of 15, I was conning my buddies that was in my Christian youth group to take me to the cities, take me to the Twin Cities to race.
Nice. So what,
Yes, that's awesome, Justin Hazy. Yes, thank you, buddy. So yeah, I mean, I started.
what are your first
What
memories
was
of the
that?
track, and what track was it?
My first track was probably it's closed now, but it was in Anoka. Went down there. Was racing, I think, like a 10 scale truck, just having fun, just a practice day, But yeah, it was cool. We did a lot. I guess probably the start of the racing part of it, was a skating rink that's only like 30 miles from my house. We'd go there and run on the oval, on the polyurethane floor. We'd run oval. So I ran oval for like 12 years before I ran off-road. Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I eventually took that over from the hobby store owner. The local hobby store owner and I were really good friends. He's much older than me. He has since passed, but yeah, I eventually took it over from him. It was all hand counting, you hand counted laps. And then when the 4 minutes was over, everyone had to stop, because we didn't have brushless and LiPo batteries back then.
Right.
So yeah. And then eventually I took it over and started running the races. I bought a computer system and, RC Scoring Pro,
Yep.
which now Lifetime, dude, as an announcer, Lifetime, I could hug Brandon Rohde every time I see him.
Yeah,
Man,
they definitely
makes my
changed the
life
game.
so easy.
They
Like
changed the
game
for
changer,
sure.
dude. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, but yeah, we took over that. We rolled out 400-foot long rolls of carpet. We were carpet racing before you guys even knew, man. I was importing Schumacher mini pins. We were running sedans with mini pins. We were running stadium trucks and stuff. And we
Nice.
throw out the jumps. We pull the jumps off and run on road on the same night and throw the jumps out for the off-road guys.
Who
So
knew
nice.
this guy was a muncher?
Yeah, man. Yeah, for years.
That's awesome.
That's really
Yeah.
cool, man. Keep telling the story. Let's keep going through the years. That's what
So
you're
yeah,
here for.
so I think the biggest change when I went into off-road or nitro or dirt was a friend of mine, Jake Molitor. He races oval now. He's a welder, owns his own welding shop, but he took me to an MNRC race. So it's the Minnesota State Racing Series. At that time, traveled around to, I think it was 7 different racetracks throughout the state, one in Forbes, Duluth, I think one was like Oak Grove, I think in the cities, Fisk Hobby Farm, I think it was called, or something like that. And he took me to a race. I was kind of, into bashing, had a monster truck, everyone had Traxxas Revo back then,
Yep.
Well, my Traxxas Revo was pretty dialed. And he kept talking about this guy, Casey Wright, man, the Casey Wright and his Revo, these young teenage kids, in their monster trucks. Casey Wright, he's so dialed, man. He's so fast. And I'm like, I got just sick and tired of hearing about this dude, Casey Wright, So I'm like, all right.
I need to beat this Casey Wright.
Yeah, I'm going to this race. So he took me up to Forbes. And man, me and Casey battled. And instantly him and I became friends. It was nuts. And we had to try and outdo each other, man. I was making one-way drive shafts back then. So I'm still, like into tinkering and like making stuff. And we'll kind of maybe get into that later if you guys allow me to. but
Absolutely.
we're making we call them X-Wings. They're
Absolutely.
one-way front drive shafts. So then like when you hit the brakes on a Revo, it was just the rear brakes. And dude, it
Whoa.
was so fun. That was like some pretty cool racing back in the day. And then eventually, you know, this M&RC racing series is pretty big, dude. It's really big. It's been going for, I think, 25 years, racing series, you know, and eventually I stepped up and was a committee member, you know, and put in volunteer time, and Casey became the chairman. So it was like me and Casey, man, I was calling all the sponsors, and we were getting gear and stuff to give away. I mean, we had more giveaways than we had people to give it to.
Nice.
You know, I mean, that's how much stuff we were getting. And it really kind of grew the M&RC. And then, you know, my financial planner and my lawyer got involved, and they're like, dude, you own a countertop business. What are you doing? You know, does the series have the right, you know, insurances? Like if something happens, you know, these cars are flying through the air or somebody gets hit, you know? So it's like, man, you know, kind of almost made me bow out. I bowed out. I left the committee, you know, just because of those reasons. And then about a year or so later, I opened, you know, a dirt track at my house. I always had kind of a practice track, big jumps and stuff just for my monster truck, but I made it into a racetrack, and that's kind of what got us started. So now I have pretty cool, awesome facility. If you look it up, ftrcr.com, www.ftrcr.com. I just re-upped my domains. So now we got to get back in and get the website back up and running. So this year, we've got a lot of things coming down the pike. So, but yeah, now we've been at the location behind my countertop shop for probably almost 10 years.
You say you got a lot of things coming down the pipe. Anything you can share?
He said pike.
Pike. Yeah.
Pike.
Yeah, whatever. Right down the
I don't know which one is it. Which one is supposed to be the pike?
I
or the
mean,
pike?
either way, it can come down from there.
It can come down
well,
both.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're
With pressure, you can go up it.
Right. So
Okay,
so
sorry.
this youngster that I put on the Tekno team. So I'm the regional manager up here for like Minnesota, you know, North, South Dakota, Wisconsin, and then Canada also. So, you know, I kind of search out and find these kids. Well, I end up befriending the kid's dad, Martin Sawinski, and dude, he owns Yeti RC, does a lot of 3D printed. So please, Chase, don't be mad. Racecraft's awesome, but kind of a little bit of competing. They do make some of the same products, but you know, with JC so invested in Seth, we can't run any kind of like competing products. So we really are careful to pick and choose which Yeti products we're able to use and kind of pass it by Jason Runa before, you know, because Jason Runa is awesome. And I don't want to step on any toes. So, but anyway, this guy, Martin, dude, likes really helping me, you know. He's like, dude, you really need to get your website back up and running because it's been like dormant for like 4 or 5 years, you know, just like absolutely, you know, because we used to have forums back then, and now Facebook's so huge that those forums, you know, are kind of all gone, you know. RC Tech, yeah.
People still use
so
that.
I had my own forum on there, you know, and all this stuff. So, but we'll get it back running and get it back updated and stuff here in the next probably 6 months. It's you know, we've been working on a lot of stuff with Yeti. Hopefully I can share Yeti's website, but if you want to go there, it's you know, www.yetirc.com. So it's cool. He sells a lot of stuff, but he's going to be putting up on there like my engine services, you know, like I don't know if you guys, like a lot of people around me know, but you know, I did some stuff at Silver State. I had my engine resizing equipment there, made some friends, you know. I always try and bring that. I find a guy that's driving. I fly, but I find a guy that's driving and send my arbor press and all that stuff. And I do also make the engine resizing equipment and sell it. So like the Fullers bought a kit of mine. I think Red's Racing bought 2 kits of mine, stuff like that. So,
very cool.
You know,
hey, Robert, can you find the link for Yeti RC and throw it up on the page real quick just to get that going?
So
other companies, we should all work as a community. You know, there shouldn't be any competing shit going on.
Right.
You know?
So, you know, I mean, Martin's been great, man, with really helping me out, really formed a friendship in the quick year and a half we've really known each other, and it just it is great. I wish I could, hopefully I can share it soon, guys. We got a lot of stuff coming out, but we do also, I also do engine modding. I've been modding engines before Seth was even racing, like.
And that's how we met.
Revo motor. Yeah.
We met at DNC when I was having some serious problems with an engine, and you got it all fixed and got me back racing. And that's how you and I became friends, man.
I taught you how to speak Japanese.
Yes. Yeah.
Remember? I told you.
Well,
I told you these motors, man, they actually talk to you. They really do. And like when you sit and you try and teach people that haven't been around it, these motors make certain noises, and the noises tell you what's going on. And when the noise happens, after what trigger pull and what after whatever, so just teaching people that is, what needs to be done.
I mean, I get looks like I still use the VanDalen method to this day. How you taught me that night. I get a lot of looks every time. They're like, "What are you doing, man?" Because the VanDalen method is you rev it once, let it off, then you go, let it off, and then the last one is what's really telling you what's going on.
Yeah. You do 3 cleanouts, and then you can go right down to an idle, and that is your true idle gap. So like guys are saying, "Oh, I always tune the bottom end first." I don't. I always tune the top end first, get it close, and then when you let off and close the air out of the engine, the fuel, you got to remember the air is drawing the fuel in. So air is immediate, fuel is not. So when you do those 3 blips, you want to listen for an increased rev every time, just a little more increased rev time. If it hits a rev limiter, just ba, 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 like that, dude, it's too fat. It's too fat. It ain't going anywhere. You need to have the separation, and it needs to gain just a little bit. And then once you close that and shut off, that fuel is already in there. That fuel mixture is already in there, and you shut the air off down to an idle. So that is your top end needle mixture setting burning at idle. So that is your true idle. So if it's revving on at idle, like rah, 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 your idle gap is too large because you already put the fuel and air mixture in the bottom of the crankcase. It's like a two-step back. So you already put it in the crankcase, and dude, if that idle's high, it's because it has too much air, because the fuel's already there, guys. Remember, the fuel's already there. Its air is immediate, fuel isn't. So the fuel's already there. So you have too much air going in, which is a lean condition. So then that's why you back out the idle. Now, if it idles for 5-6 seconds, it dies, people's immediate reaction is to turn the idle back up. No. Your bottom end is over rich. It is fat. And that's why it died. These engines will not die when they are lean. They make weird sounds when they're lean. They sing songs to you and do all kinds of stuff. When they flame out, it's because it's fat somewhere. Because the fuel, the combustion, it might have weak combustion or weak compression, and that's why it can't complete the combustion burn, and that's why it is fat. But it's still a fat condition that kills that motor. So, once you learn that and you get the marriage between that high speed and low speed needle, dude, 2 thumbs up. You'll be a lot happier. Yeah. And that's one thing that Martin and I are talking about this year. We've got kind of schedule. I got Seth's racing schedule and, my racing schedule for my own track. And we're trying to figure out right now, we're kind of laying down Full Throttle Raceway University. So it's kind of like a school where you're going to come in. We're going to open up the countertop shop, put chairs, tables in there. We're going to talk about engine maintenance, how to do it yourself. If you want to do it yourself, that you can, FTR or SNS, Seth and Sean, that's kind of, the SNS garage. That's where we are right now. You can see the 2 kits behind me, the Tekno above me. So gotta give a shout out to those guys, Yeah,
you gotta film that too. And you could do a whole YouTube series and everything on that.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a kind of like Full Throttle University, trying to do like 4 maybe even 5 throughout the summer, so that we'll start doing advancing, and we're bringing in Seth, and, you know, have talked to a few other guys that I want to get involved in it if possible. But yeah. So, I mean, all the stuff that we got going, man, I got a ton of stuff planned. So we're hoping to, you know, help out. And, you know, yes, there is a charge for that clinic, and hopefully that'll help Seth, you know, get to these races. Just one thing, man, it's just, you know, as a top kid, I feel he is. He just, you know, it's hard to make these races. You know, he's working full time at the countertop shop, you know, to make ends meet. And it's tough, dude, you know, so we got to try and hustle, have some kind of side hustle. And if we can do that and help people locally at the same time, and get him some travel money to make it to these other big races, I think that would be great. So
awesome idea.
He's definitely a hard worker. I mean, he's deserving the success. You know, just knowing what I know about him, you know, he's been a top tier driver for a while. He's just not found that rhythm, and I feel like he's coming into it right now, and he deserves know that success.
You know, some of his, like, Seth's kind of breakout moments, you know, were 2020 DNC. He TQ'd Nitro Buggy. Now, there was inclement weather, just like there was this year. So he kind of got a little helping hand, you might say. And that's fine. But, I mean, just like drag racing, a win's a win. Doesn't matter if it's inch or mile. So he got the TQ. I think he finished like 12th, something like that. Or I don't know. I can't, maybe 14th, you know. But it was an experience for him to be in with those guys and race with those guys, you know. And that's probably one of the first ones. I mean, I remember watching other races, just sitting alongside the fence like you do at DNC, and Elliot Boots was standing next to me, and he's like talking to his buddy. He's like, "Who the hell is this Seth kid? Like, who is he?" And I turned to him like, "Boots." I'm like, "That's my kid." I'm like, "He's from Minnesota, you know?" And they're like, he's like, "What? Who?" I'm like, "Yeah, like, I've never heard of him." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, you know,
Minnesota,
yeah. So it was good, you know. I mean, you know, I think Brent said something earlier about Wicked Weekend. You know, Wicked Weekend 2023 was probably the I wasn't there. He TQ'd the buggies, the 2 buggy classes. Yeah, and was fairly dominant, dude. Like, had a pretty good lead. You know, sometimes
and that track was very rough. If you remember, it was blowed the fuck out, and kind of shows you like
it had like a real nasty whip section too, like this.
Yeah. One. And that you know, that was like for me, it showed that was what was the difference maker for Seth. He was really good in that, but it also come to the end of that race, it's what killed him. It bucked him at the last minute, and Dakota got by him for the win. But he dominated that race until that point, and it was going to be another one of those breakout type wins that he needed at that time. Doesn't take away for how great he did that weekend, but he just didn't. He didn't end up getting the W at the end.
Yeah. If you rewatch that race, man, Ogden really hurt him that race, man. Even the announcer was telling Ogden to pull over. He cost him a shit ton of time in the middle of that buggy race. You know, hurt him in truck too, but I don't know. Those two are friends. They're not as good as friends as they once were. But yeah, that one stung a little bit, seeing a friend hold you up like that. You know, even the announcer, you know, is asking for it. But you know, that allowed Dakota to kind of close up, you know, and Seth being, you know, maybe in a unfamiliar position, being out front regionally, he's the guy, you know, of course, you know, all these guys are, you know, Brandon Rose, he's the guy regionally, you know, Camden Lime. I mean, you can go on with all these kids, you know? So, I mean, it was just, it was, you know, one of those things, you know, I mean, Dakota made some contact, but it really was, I mean, it wasn't on purpose. I mean, he's just going through there full out, dude, you know? But yeah, it was, you know, if the roles were reversed, I don't know how Dakota would have felt about that. If Seth would have won by poking Dakota in the whoops, I'm not sure. You know, I mean, even that DNC this last weekend, Seth made some incidental contact with Juan Carlos Canas Carrasco, and Carrasco rolled over, man, and it was an E-truck, and it's like they were fighting for third, you know, and it's like Seth waited, man. It cost him like 4 spots. 4 guys got both. I mean, both got around Juan Carlos too, but it cost him, but he chose, sportsmanship. It wasn't on purpose contact. Please guys, don't think it was, but he chose sportsmanship over a podium, and he could have really been on the podium in E-Truck also. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was proud of him, but again, would Juan Carlos, you got to ask yourself, if the roles were reversed,
Right.
would Juan Carlos have stopped, with all those guys,
Right.
that pack of drivers around you, because I mean, that takes real discipline, to do that, to be that stand-up guy. So I was really proud of him with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, when you got all that speed in the whoops, don't follow anybody. Take a different line.
Yeah.
And blast by.
Yeah, this was the little drop off to the step up. He skidded off of the drop up and just made a little bump, little nudge contact. So, but yeah.
So I'd like to go back to something we were just discussing a few minutes ago. You were talking about some stuff so the one thing that I've known about the VanDalen since I've been working with you guys is you guys are very innovative. You don't just sit back and like wait for parts to come out and test them. You guys have been known to like really develop some stuff, whether it's in the engine.
Yeah.
You built your own pinching system that people buy or use of yours.
Yep.
I know that I know that Seth, and I'm sure it comes, down the pipe or pipe.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Way.
He's
down the chute. Comes down the chute.
I mean, he's very innovative.
He's grown up. He's grown up watching us do crazy stuff,
Yeah.
So the engine pinching system, that was in conjunction with Josh Ford. He's a Mugen driver from Minnesota here. Him and I kind of really went at that to really improve what we had before, to really improve on it. And that's where, we've kind of ended up with that now. So Josh Ford is definitely key. It's not just me in that. That's, in conjunction, just like with Yeti, I just try and team up with people that can help me achieve what I need, a good friend of mine, Jesse Stewart, we just call him Stu. Back when we were running the 2.0, man, when Tekno came out, we were driving the 0.4s and we were at Worlds and Lutz and Borhorst had the 2.0 car, nobody had it, and Tekno warned us. He's like, you're going to need to bring all your parts because we're not going to carry parts for the older car. We're only going to bring parts for this new car. And we don't have enough cars to give you one for Worlds. I'm like, okay, so we brought a whole extra car. And man, that car, I mean, Tekno really hit a home run. Really did. Like, I can't, Daniel Lewis, the owner of Tekno, I can't praise him enough for the development of that car, and the engineering in that car. But we were noticing, like I do setup changes for years. Seth he was just a wheel, 10, 12, even up to 13 is when he started doing some of his setup stuff. I just made changes according to what his race car, I clock his inputs, like what he's asking the car to do, cause I was a driver myself. And I think that's where it comes down to, like, good relationships with your driver, and pit guy, and I would just make changes. I wouldn't even tell him. And he'd go out and I'd be like, hey, how was the car this round? And he's like, oh, it was better. And I'm like, well, you went a half second quicker, dude. Like, it was definitely better. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, what did it feel? What did it do? Oh, it turned in better. I'm like, okay. So, he started, that's how I got him to start, going from that cold trickle, that wheel that just didn't know anything, to being able to communicate with me and tell me, what he needed from the race car, what he felt he needed from the race car. So, and that's what developed on the 2.0s. Once we got our hands on it, we were going through and having, some growing pains learning the new car. And the car just, I won't say did bad things. It just wasn't doing what he wanted, and I'm like, why is it doing that? So I start looking at everything and I'm like, oh man, so I start making adjustments and it got better. So then, and what I was doing is I was lowering the inner hinge pins. So I was putting the chassis up on top of the suspension. So what it does is it allows the car to create more roll, more chassis roll, create grip. And it gave the car a little bit more stability, but I was at the end of where I could go adjustment wise. So what I did is I took like the pills, Kyosho had them. I think they're the first ones to come out with the pill inserts and stuff. And now, Tekno has them, the little square pills that go on the blocks. So I took those and I cut them so then I could lower the pin. And holy mackerel, dude, he just picked up, like, we were at Omaha and he picked up like half a second a lap, dude. It was just crazy. I mean, he had one season on the new car, that 2.0 car there at Omaha, where he won he TQ'd every single 5 races and won every single race. That car was ripping fast, but we had to do that. So then what I did is I'm like, you know what? I'm all the way, I got these pills cut all the way. Can I go farther? Can we, we're always like, man, can we get more? So I sat down with Jesse. Yeah. I sat down with Jesse Stewart. He was a machinist buddy of mine, went to his shop, got to befriend the shop owner, a multi-million-dollar, we're talking huge facility. I mean, I can't even tell you the machines they have. It's just gigantic. Got to be friends with the owner. He would let me come in on a Friday. They shut down at 11. He'd let me come in. I'd work as a maintenance guy. So I'd maintenance these big end shoe machines, and clean all the chips out of the troughs and just do the grunt work. I mean, I was greasy all the way to the elbows, but he would give me machine time so that I could design parts. Stu could design parts and then make them. So what we ended up making was these C&D blocks. If you can see them. Oh, these are the S&S C&D blocks that were on the 2.0 car. And what it did is it lowered those pills for me so that I didn't have to cut the pills and stuff, and we actually, marketed that and sold them for a while. And now, the 2.2, even the 2.1 comes with a version of the blocks. It's not identical, but Danny saw that, yes, it was, an improvement to the car. And we were under, contract with Tekno. So it's their priority right to be able to use it. And I didn't have a problem with it. I love the fact that we're, giving input, and I mean, it just, led to what's come on the car now, I mean, there's so many other things too,
well,
I think that's what teams are for.
Yeah, I was going to say,
and putting the right people on the teams.
They see the work that people are putting in and utilizing that input to make the cars better. If you didn't do that, then what are you paying or working with these people for?
I'm not a designer. I didn't do some crazy algebraic equation and say, oh, well, that's what they did wrong. No, I didn't. I just had an instance on the track where I was like, I would lower the hinge pins if the car does that. And I wasn't able to go any farther. So I'm like, I got to make this. I got to go farther. And we tested it, and almost got us in a little bit of trouble because that was before I learned that you really need to communicate more, and and talk to your sponsor, about it. So it was a learning curve. So now we're pretty good. I think the next kind of big innovation that we've had for the car was, I think Mayfield was still on Mugen at the time. We were at Silver State. Man, our car was good, but it just at the end of the run, it seemed like at the end of the weekend, it drove the worst. And I mean, obviously the track's bumpiest, guys. So, but we go through piston packages and do all kinds of stuff for the rough. We know, usually we're on the right path, but we just saw at the end of the run that it was, something just was off, So we started really looking at other brands of cars, and we started to notice that our car had a significant amount of dog bone plunge as the suspension went through its travel. And if anybody knows anything about dog bone plunge, it's a lot like anti-squat. So when you're on power and that dog bone has to go into the outdrive, it resists that movement. So it's a lot like increasing your anti-squat on power.
Definitely.
So man, I'm like, how are we going to fix this? And I started looking at it and I'm like, man, I'm like, the ring gear's like 3 mil off the chassis. I'm like, we can totally cut down the bottom of these gearboxes and bring that down. And then the dog bone plunge will be way less.
Are the VanDalens responsible for the -2 gearbox? Is that what you're saying?
I still have the
that's awesome.
router.
It works
I
great.
have the router template for my countertop shop. I have the router template to bolt those boxes to and run on my router table.
Nice.
I sent 10 gearboxes to Tekno over that.
Very
and
cool.
they put them on their cars and won. Wiggins won at what's that race out in Oklahoma? What is it?
Oh, the Visions race.
The Vision. Wiggins won Visions with those babies before they were available.
Hell yeah.
Very cool. Well, we're at the top of
So
the
it's
hour,
like-
Sean, and it's time to show Tekno some love since we've definitely been giving them
Yeah.
some love. We need to play the
Heck
Tekno
yeah.
commercial, and then
This whole thing's been a
what-
freaking Tekno advertisement.
has it? What are you
Well,
talking
that's
about?
you got the Tekno guy on, dude. Like, look at it.
We got 2 Tekno guys. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, call
love
your
it.
boys, dude. Call your boys. You put me in on bringing in the guests. I'm going to do what I'm going to
Yeah.
do.
I
You
hear
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
All right,
you
so
haven't
what we're
heard
gonna
enough.
do, Sean, we're gonna bust out a commercial. We're gonna drain the main veins and grab another beverage. So just hang tight, and then we're gonna open up those phone lines.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Tekno RC. Tekno RC is a championship-winning manufacturer of high-performance A-scale, 10-scale, nitro, and electric RC buggies and trucks. With a worldwide dealer network, USA and Europe-based headquarters, comprehensive warranty program, and global race support, Tekno RC is excellence in RC. View the full lineup of Tekno RC race-proven vehicles by visiting www.teknorc.com.
BeachRC.com, the racer's one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, S-Works, Pro Circuit Racing tires, Nitro Lux fuels, and Assault RC performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
All right. Whew. Just perfect timing with that double commercial. I think we're starting to figure this show out a little bit.
I yelled at Robert from the bathroom. I said, "If you need to play another commercial, do it."
Nice. So speaking of innovation, we're gonna open the OneUp Racing phone lines right now, and we'll keep chatting while we're waiting on a caller. But speaking of innovations, dude, what's up with the pit caddy, dude? Did you leave it for me?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Where's
It's
it
in your
at?
pits, yo. It's in your pits. I put it right under your racecraft
The command module. That thing.
the command module. Yeah, I put it right in there, man.
Hell yeah,
I
dude.
even told
I had
the,
to.
I even told the dudes that were in there, I'm like, hey, this is for Chase. He took a picture of me early on in practice and said he loved that thing. And I said, you know what? I make them and I'll leave you one. I'll make a new one when I get home. So
Hell yeah.
Is there any
Yeah, we're gonna
pictures
be
of this said piece of art that I can see?
Well, it's on the show flyer. Do you
Yeah, it's
have
on the
a-
show flyer.
Oh, okay. We're talking about
So
the
that was his
the Coors
actual
Light
pit
bucket.
caddy, the party bucket,
Yeah.
and then he's got it shaped on the inside for everything you need to go pitting with, dude. And I was like,
including
Now, I
the
don't
beer,
want to brag. I don't want to brag or
including
nothing.
the beer.
yes,
I don't want to brag, but the Arizona Nationals at Tim Lime's track, I pitted Cam all weekend with a Taco Bell box,
Yes!
party
a
box.
taco box. So I do want to
Yes.
say that, you know, like I'm a very big believer in creative pit
Yeah.
setup. So Sean, I love the bucket. I did see it in the flyer, and
It's
I
dope.
want to see the inside for sure.
And I meant to grab it
Yeah.
personally. I had to leave the race a little early. I fell in a lake in the middle of the nitro main, so I had to.
That does not surprise me one bit. I must add to that. Like no matter what.
Well, I'm watching the nitro main, right, and I'm like, man, I really got to pee, but I want to watch this race, you know. And
Yeah.
right off to the side of the track, right as you go in, there's this like little water reservoir carrier thing, right? So I'm doing my thing next to that, and I heard these frogs croaking, right? And I hear all these frogs croaking. I'm like, I got the bright idea during the pro nitro main. I'm like, I'm gonna catch a frog right now. So I walk over to the I walk over to the reservoir, and I fucking fell in the goddamn thing, dude, trying to catch a frog. I was like, you know what? We should probably go. Let's go.
That's hilarious.
I sent you a couple photos. I sent you a couple photos of the pit pail. You can see how everything's organized. It's got everything in there, dude, even the extra wheel nuts.
All right, I'll try to. I'm gonna send these over to Robert real quick, and
yeah.
So I was meaning to hang out and grab that bucket from you because we were talking about it.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Just had an unfortunate event there, and decided to go home.
That's all right.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Yep.
See if I can
hear
see
you.
these.
So.
All right, so the phone lines are open.
So, hey, the influence, SNS influence,
SNS carbs, baby.
The wide side guards, the wide e-buggy craze. Seth showed up at one of the races with a wide body on his car, and everybody on the team's like, why do you have it wide? And we're like, well, you know, our painter didn't have an e-buggy body ready, but all the while we had tested it. It offers the car more stability in the air and better grip on the track. Besides the vision, like for me, the reason I did it to my car was vision. I'm old, man. It's just a little wider platform for me to see. So that's kind of what started it. And then Seth kind of drove my car and was like, dude, he's like, your car flies better than my car. And he's like, and it feels like it has more grip, like in the corner. I'm like, what? And he's like, let me try him on my car and I'll put my nitro buggy. So he did. He's like, dude, he's like, we got to do this. So yeah. The nitro wide side guards, dude.
Very cool.
That's one of the other ones. No, that's really not a performance advantage. It's kind of one of those things like the pit caddy, you know. It's just maybe more visual than anything else.
Right.
Well, I think it adds to it personally.
Yeah.
Where are those damn pictures? I'm trying to send the pictures to Robert so he can.
That thing is cool.
So he can show everybody. Yeah. But for whatever reason, I can't figure it out. So
innovators. Well, I was thinking, like, man, where am I going to source some buckets and start making some?
Yeah, I was lucky enough that my local tavern the watering hole that I go to, I was like, hey, what are the chances I can get that bucket from you? So I must be a good enough customer because they're like, just take it. I'm like,
I will add that in my wife's wilder days, she would just fucking take them. So,
oh yeah.
Well, there was it's perfect because it being a pail, it's like a no spill for the fuel bottle. You know,
dude, it's so like really honestly, once Brent gets those photos up, if you have like all of your fuel, your beer, your whatever fuel gun, everything in there, and the MIP wrenches, not MIP sponsored, but MIP wrenches in there, and all the stuff how I have it organized, it's perfectly balanced.
Nice. Now, not even where you're like, holy hell.
No, it took like 5-6 revisions of moving stuff around and spinning it in the pail, you know, to get it to balance and then still be able to close the handle or open the handle with the stuff in there, you know? So yeah, it took some revisions to
talk about
yeah, now we're
balance. We have a caller.
Oh,
awesome. Bring him on.
Drew, on the air. Sean, are you okay taking calls and being able to deal with assholes like Drew Singer?
You know what? Drew's a pretty cool dude. I know the name and I probably wish I would have hung out with him a little bit more, but yeah.
You'll get your opportunity, I promise you. What's up, Drew Singer?
What up, dude?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Where are we located tonight?
Sounds like Drew finally went through puberty.
Vincenza.
Yeah.
Vincenza, Georgia. I like that place. I've been there a couple times.
Where is that, Drew?
Italy.
I've actually been to Vincenza, Italy. It's like a Myrtle Beach of Italy. It's got a little boardwalk.
It is, yes. I guess I guess Myrtle Beach, is a pretty good comparison to Vincenza, Italy. I'll remember that.
Me and my whole family were there.
Voice, are you talking through one of the Home Alone?
He definitely has somebody sitting next to him. He does not want to hear him talking about RC cars. So whoever that is, you know.
it's 3:00 in the morning here. I was on the phone with Dakota, and I trying to get some stuff finalized. And I fucking we're scrolling through Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, these assholes are online. Of course, I'm fucking calling." So here I
sound like
I am at 3:00 in the morning.
You sound like a murderer in a horror movie, dude.
He does sound like something.
Yeah,
I'm right outside.
I'm in this like gorgeous cathedral of a fucking hotel with like fucking 500-year-old paintings on the ceiling, and I'm trying not to wake up the neighbors and get kicked out.
And so you were just like, I'm just going to call him.
This is his whisper voice. This is Drew's whisper voice right here.
This is my my ex murderer and trying not to wake up the neighbors' voice.
1-900 call Drew. So what's up, man? What do you got? What do you got? Tell us what kind of deals you just finalized with Dakota.
Nothing. We're I guess I can announce it on my own trigger. We're gonna come out with a new servo.
Oh,
so
it's beautiful.
So yeah, so it's an exclusive first. You've heard it.
We love exclusives here.
Yeah. So wasn't planning on doing that, but thanks, Brent, for doing it. It should be coming out. Yeah, it should be coming out soon. Just an upgraded version of what we've got. So we'll have, our entry level, kind of $100 budget servo, and then we've got, the one
Wait,
that
stop. Does it not sound like he's doing like a voice change thing, like on 60 Minutes, where like they're trying to hide the voice, right?
Yeah, you sound like somebody that's like blanked out on like Unsolved Mysteries, like Hidden Witness,
totally.
dude.
It's like, you don't know who I really am.
Is he in Woodsack? Is he in Woodsack or what?
You guys are ruined. You guys are ruining this right now for me. I'm very vulnerable.
Robert.
I'm super vulnerable. It's late. It's really late here. I'm super vulnerable. I'm not trying to wake up the neighbors, and you guys keep fucking with me. I don't know what the problem is. I'm trying to be a good citizen here, but shit's about to get real in Italy. Like we can go fucking wild up in this bitch.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sending the bill. I'm sending the bill to fucking Beach RC.
Yeah. Send it to the old address.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, awesome. How's
we're coming out with the new servo, so that's exciting stuff.
I like it.
Yeah. So how did everything go at the race?
Oh,
it looked like there was a shit ton of people there.
Yeah, everything went really well. It was a good send off, and I think it was a good way to kind of end an era. So proud of the people that showed up, and everyone's like, "Why are you announcing the race?" I was like, because I started announcing the racing when I opened this place. I'm going to end this place with me announcing. So it's one of those things where I just.
So the race was a shit show.
Complete shit show. Complete shit show all the time.
What are you doing? What are you doing with the dirt over there? Can I come get that?
You better hurry, because if not, it's getting gone. But yeah, it's free for anyone that will pay to have it transported. But that is special dirt. I will say I was very fortunate.
Yeah, we may need to get. When is it getting? I want to get some to put in the Phil Hurd track.
You better start making plans. Like it's got to be out by the end of next week.
End of next week. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see if I can't make a trip up and just grab some. I think just for some nostalgia.
I'll just send you a jar. I'll just send you a jar. We've already done. We gave everybody that showed up last week a jar of dirt.
Okay, yeah. Give me a jar. I want to put it in our track because you guys are just,
Oh, you're gonna sprinkle the ashes, huh?
Kind of synonymous. I'm sprinkling the ashes. It'll live forever because at least I know how to keep a fucking track open.
Oh. Holy shit!
That was heavy, bro.
Yeah. Who the fuck's this guy? This is not the real Drew Singer. We got an imposter on here.
This is Drew from Italy.
Drew from Italy. Oh, well, it's
Holy
been
shit.
grand. Fuck off. Good night.
It-
Yeah.
Ouch.
No, man,
Awesome.
All right,
All right.
Drew.
Well, it's been awesome.
Yep.
I don't even know what else to say to you at this point in time, but
I kind of killed the vibe, didn't I?
no, just a little bit, man. I went from full wood to full fucking touching the floor limp.
Oh man.
Don't worry, man. When I get behind you and I start cupping those balls, you already know what time it is.
Oh, so
Good
P and B,
lord,
right? P and B.
Yeah.
Okay, P and B.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
You
Thanks for
ready for
calling in, Drew.
Yeah, I think that's your send off there, buddy.
All right, buddy. Love you.
All right, love you too.
Later, man.
See you,
God
dude.
Almighty. So literally, Vincenzo, I remember spending the time in that town because my neighbor's dog was named Vincenzo, and we sent pictures of me and my whole family when we were there for RCGP. We sent pictures to him from Vincenzo. Cool little town, very Myrtle Beach like, very like touristy for a.
Except more
Not
more
not
tomato
like
sauce.
Rome touristy where everyone's looking at like relics and old buildings and shit. It's just like, carnival touristy in a sense. Probably more so for the Italians to go to type of a place.
Nice, more local, chill.
Yeah, very cool.
I've been to Italy too, man, but just the touristy spots. So I was just the person you were talking about, like in Rome, looking at relics.
Which is the places you want to go to when you're from here. But like if
Right.
you're from Italy, you probably want to go to Vincenzo.
Nice. I want some dirt, man. Can I
I'll
get
send you some dirt.
Hell
There's
yeah.
somebody else in the comments that was wanting some dirt. Yes, we will
Yeah.
ship jars of dirt. We have, I think I'll have to talk to Lucas tomorrow. I think we had like 80 more jars of dirt that we're going to be able to add to some packages and stuff like that. It's really, it sounds so cliche or so like weird, like, oh, you're sending out your dirt. No, that dirt was what made that track so special. And it was amazing to work with. It was, traction like not many people can get. We never once put a chemical on that dirt. That dirt was 100% water. The only chemical came off of tires. And it was some of the best 10 scale racing dirt you could possibly ask for. So very cool. And everyone seemed to like the trophies and stuff that we made. It was all about the dirt that weekend. And I do think we're going to end up having like 60 to 80 more jars of dirt that we can send out here pretty soon. So
Cool.
So cheers to all those motherfuckers.
That's gonna be a pretty popular item, I'm sure, in your messages and things for people that have been there and haven't weren't able to make the Palmetto Classic would probably like a piece of that history. So
yeah,
very cool. I would too.
We wanted to definitely pass that out. So all right. Wow. I don't know what to say after talking to Drew Singer. Kind of like fucks my whole brain up. I want to like ask Sean a question, but I'm like, man, my brain really is in a different place now. Like it went to a dark, dark place listening to an axe murderer change his voice in our podcast.
That was a creepy voice, man.
What was he doing?
I just picture him like sitting in a corner, like crouched down.
Yeah. In tidy whities, right?
Yeah. It's not the normal Drew we usually get on the show.
No, he's usually all like, ah.
Yeah.
Like, tonight he's like, whoa.
Yeah, that was Troll Drew.
Anybody got any questions for Sean? That would be even better, having some people call in with some good questions for our guest of the night. Oh, you know what?
What's that?
We have a caller.
Awesome.
Caller, you're on the air.
What's up?
What's up? Who is?
We got? Oh, Yoshi.
Yoshi.
What's up, Yoshi? You got any questions for our special guest, Mr. Sean VanDalen?
What does Sean do for a living?
Well, he did say already, but I'll let him tell you again.
I own a countertop manufacturing company. Small, 4 employees. We make kitchen countertops. We make commercial countertops, a lot of like Frito-Lay stuff, Frito-Lay break rooms, mail rooms, stuff like that. We ship all over the country, but local, kitchens, granite, whatever you need, Corian, laminate. So yeah, that's what Seth does.
Do you make cutting boards?
Yes, I do. I make pit boards too out of Corian.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
damn.
Very nice.
Why did you ask if he makes cutting boards, Yoshi?
Because I work in the kitchen.
Oh,
Heck,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
Kitchen and countertop.
Yeah.
Dude, you could
My
get a,
God, they
a
go together
new
really
cutting
well.
board with all your sponsors on it.
Yeah. Just last week before I left. Yeah, just last week before I left, I made a huge 2-inch thick butcher block, and it was a island, and it had a waterfall. Mitered it, waterfall all the way to the floor. Did that the week just before we left to go to DNC.
damn.
So that thing was like 400 pounds. It was, because it's
Wow.
2-inch thick, solid maple butcher block. It was cool, 36 inches wide. So big waterfall drop all the way to the floor. So yeah.
That sounds
Yeah,
sick.
man, you could get like Cutco and Ginsu engraved in there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be styling.
It was, yeah.
Can you imagine
You
if
know
you
what,
changed
I
the
would hate
kitchen
to
game?
break that.
You what?
I would hate to break that.
Well, you
Yeah.
just order another one.
Like,
I wouldn't want to pay
all
for it.
that, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or something would happen to that in shipping. I'll be very mad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We
I'm sure,
blanketed it.
I'm
pretty-
sure he's got the shipping and handling pretty dialed for something like that.
Yep. Yeah. That was done by a courier. We wouldn't trust a freight carrier with something like that. That was a private courier that picked it up and took it. So
Tim Barth is asking, do you make scale boards?
yes, I actually have a 4-corner scale board made out of quartz. So it's a 1.1 inch thick quartz. And it's flat as flat can be. So like some of these pit boards, they'll warp as they sit on, and they're like, I don't know, these guys are doing setups on carbon fiber. Well, that all kind of just forms to whatever the surface it's on. But yeah, but you're not flying with that on a plane.
What's
that
a
thing's
scale
30.
board? for me and whoever else doesn't know, what's a scale board?
Scale board would be like mainly for dirt oval. I'm sure any discipline
Yeah.
uses them, like on road, even off road could use them to make your corners as close as possible on weights. But dirt oval, I should say, carpet, dirt, asphalt, they use them religiously.
Oh, to put like the wheel
Yeah.
scales on and make sure
Yep.
everything's level. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
I
well,
had a-
you're
I
trying
kinda
to
had
make
a
your-
feeling, but
Your left side, your front and rear, and your cross weight. Those are everything
It's-
you're looking for.
It's actually right down there
Hey, Brent,
behind me.
Mm,
so are those recessed? Like
I
so you
see
can
it.
recess the scales in there?
So
Yes.
mine,
keep your-
no,
oh,
No?
okay.
no,
Okay.
no.
That'd be
I have
It's a
to
flat
say
board.
that last
It's a
2
flat
weeks
board.
of the show have been outstanding. You have some amazing guests.
Oh, thank you. That's all Chase. Chase is the guest whisperer.
Yeah.
I'm the
So very
booking
good, young
booking
man.
agent.
Step up your game. I'm very proud of both of y'all. Both of you.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, Yoshi. Thanks for being a solid supporter of the podcast since day one, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, we even named you. You're like
I
legit.
know. It's very important to me.
You're important to us. Well, cool, man. Appreciate you. Stop by and get a jar of dirt, man.
Hey, I was going to ask you, can I get a 5-gallon bucket of that dirt?
You better hurry and come get it. You can have as much of it.
That's a little hard to ship, but
Yeah, you can have as
No,
much
no,
of it as you
I
want.
will personally transport it myself.
Yeah, you can.
All right,
have
what
as
are you
much as
okay?
want.
What are you
Just come
what are you
get
gonna do with 5 gallons of beach RC dirt?
I would put it in a safe, dry place.
Nice. Nice. I would say
Because
like
if he ever
plant-
does, my reasons behind this is if we ever do get another track going, I will have a 5-gallon bucket of the OG dirt.
There you go. That's actually pretty cool. We put it in a time capsule. You know, maybe have a section of the track that's OG. I mean, that's a great idea, Yoshi.
I don't disagree with your train of thought here.
Definitely. Or at least have it in a case at the new track. There's so many possibilities you could do. You could plant a little mini palm tree in it, you know, and say this is a Beach RC palm tree. And throws in the dirt.
So much with it. I can't wait to grow potatoes.
You can make a little clay
figurine,
figurine of Brent out of the
I
dirt.
will have a list for it, keep it dry.
Oh, I hope someone makes a little clay figurine of me. That would be rad. Oh god. I don't even know what to say anymore. But Yoshi,
All right, fellas, have a great night.
you too, brother.
Hey,
Thanks for calling
you
in.
too.
Thanks for listening every single week. You are the man.
All right.
Take it easy, guys.
Yeah, dude, Yoshi's awesome, man. Like,
he's
so
cool.
he's local. Sean, if you
No.
being new to the show, he's local to us.
Well, if he's picking up 5 gallons of dirt, I kind of figured it.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that just he's the greatest supporter. He loves it, and just a super great dude. So, man, he can come and get as much dirt as he wants prior to Drew coming and getting his own bucket.
Yeah, well, Luke Schumacher has a question for you, Sean. What do you think of the do's and do nots of running a track?
That's a good question.
Oh, man, I've been a track owner. I actually owned an indoor track for a while, indoor dirt track for a while. I can say right now, 100%, my biggest mistake when I was running my indoor race facility was I tried to control what people did. Like, and what I mean by that is, like, I thought that I was doing what was right for the community by limiting, like, specking a tire or specking that they couldn't use any sauce because it was wearing tires out faster. And man, all I got was just fight back on that. You know, the more, as a track owner, the more rules or the more you try and contain that group of people, the more chaos that's going to ensue. So the least rules you can have, you know, mod classes are awesome, dude. Put it on it. Go as fast as you want. I don't care. You know, you start doing all these stock rules and now you got to do tech and you got to do all this stuff. And it's like, man, these racetracks are, you know, a labor of love, man. Like, really. Like, I was talking to Brian Eider at DNC, you know, guys are like upset that, you know, 11 on-road guys got mad because he put a dirt oval on top of their on-road. You know, all the time they were, you know, complaining that the off-road track that had 40 guys on it was creating dust that was landing on the on-road track. I mean, it's like, wow, you know? So, I mean, as a track owner and stuff like that, race director, even still now, man, the more you try and control the crowd, it seems like the more they push back. So, I mean,
You
really,
can't
you got to kind of
do anything to make 11 people happy. Like, I know you said 11, but and I'm using that as an example. And as a track owner, you can't try to make 11 people happy when you've got 50 people or 100 people.
Right.
You have
Correct.
to do what the majority is going to support, not the minority.
Right.
And
you know, and that's what I told Eider is I'm like, you have to do what you have to do to bring money in, you know, to pay that overhead. And obviously Eider, you know, like a lot of track owners, you know, it is a labor of love. That's why these tracks come and go. So he has enough go funds that he can do it. You know, I have my outdoor track still. I still have my race shop. You can kind of see some stuff behind hanging on the pegboards and stuff. And, you know, I still sell a lot of, you know, product through here. Still have a lot of great customers, man. I've really, you know, don't want to beat Tekno up, but man, you know, keep saying it, but man, I got a lot of Tekno customers, man. That's great. You know, so, if you can keep that rolling, then, you know, you're doing great. You know, I mean, got to have thick skin. You really do, as a track owner or race director, isn't it? You're not going to make everybody happy. So
you touched on
but
the
again,
tire prep situation. The problem is when you eliminate something like tire prep is you only benefit cheaters. And the only way to
Right.
take away tire prep is to impound. And to do that means more people that you have to pay or to have around, and the more work for the track that is generally not making enough money off of a race to
Right.
sustain that. So I went through
Exactly.
that early on, and people like, you need to stop letting people prep with this or that, or because it smells or whatever. And I'm like, why don't you just use it? Because unfortunately you're using something shitty and nasty on your hands anyways. So you might as well use whatever they're using because it's faster. Because if I take
Yeah.
away that, then they're going to do it at home and still beat you. And you're going to come out and say, we need to do something different. So it's just the same old with anybody that's not willing to do the work or put the time in is not willing to win, and that those are the ones that are usually the first ones bitching and complaining about stuff. Health concerns, I understand, but the only way you can get rid of certain things is by adding more money to the payroll or more time
Right.
to
Right.
your
Yeah. Because the minute
schedule.
you start doing that, now you got to have guys that, tech the cars, whether you have volunteers or you have to pay them, it just depends. Big events, typically some local guys do volunteer for it, but sometimes you have to have at least one paid guy, so yeah, it adds to the overhead. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough, man. I praise anybody that runs a track. I really do, because it's definitely a labor of love. And sometimes, like when I mentor, when I find these young kids that are fast and I start mentoring them, and it really reinvigorates my passion for the sport, because sometimes you get a little worn out, man. You start losing that passion for the sport, and it's hard. It's hard to keep digging, So, but it paid off last weekend. Got a big win.
Yep.
So
yep, for sure.
Proud of the kid. Yeah. Yeah.
That invigorates you back in there, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. I came back. I'm like, oh my God, Chase wants me on Tuesday night. I'm like, it was a long travel day. We didn't get home till like 11. I'm like, and I got a busy Tuesday, putting out fires at the countertop shop, not literally, but taking care of customers.
Hopefully not.
But yeah, so I'm like, I gotta get a backdrop. I'm like, I gotta get stuff cleaned up. I gotta,
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap! Believe me, you don't want to see the rest of it.
Right, you don't want to see the rest of what I got going on out here either.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Way.
But I would love to show you the truck right behind me.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The truck.
All right. So this is like okay, for Brent, you talk about the innovations, the S&S innovations, and the gearhead gurus. This one is the next one coming down the pike.
Guru.
So we are in the late stages of development. I have raced it at SIC and Omaha with nobody even knowing it's in there.
I love exclusives and first, dude. Let's see
so
what
we got. What it is it's my I got
a piece of that.
Did you put a horn on the truck? Did you finally put a horn on the truck? So you could beep at people.
I joined up with Yeti RC, and we're coming out. We're coming out with probably spring of 2025. We're coming out. If you can see this.
Oh shit! He froze up.
Ooh. Then disc brakes.
This is this. No, this is the brake that's on the truck right now. This is the brake that's on my truck right now.
Whoa.
That is so slightly larger by a lot. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, by a lot.
What this is a single disc brake rotor. This bolts to the front of your center diff inside, and it allows you to have braking just like an e-truck. There's no more brake bias. Like the worst thing for me, man, is I always bitch is I couldn't get my front and back. You're always sitting there feeling the front and back brake. Could never get it right, man. And I was like, you know what? I love like my e-car, but everybody knows me as the Nitro guy. So I take a lot of shit locally for running electric stuff if I didn't run my Nitro. So I'm like, you know what? I really want to try this, and I even, after, partial development, I was at Omaha race earlier this or late last year, and Mike Fuller starts talking to me about why don't we have a single disc brake, in Nitro, and I just kind of giggled to myself. I had to try and hold it in, but we're already in development here,
Killing me.
And he's asking, so dude, great minds. Mike Fuller, awesome dude. Mason, Caden, awesome family. Seth's grown up racing those kids, the Rinkerneck or Rinker-Kanish, as a race director, you want to say their name, right?
Rinkerneck.
Yeah. No, it's Rinker-Kanish.
Just say it as fast as possible.
Right.
Rinkerneck.
But all those kids like Jones, he was another one that they were all in that area, up in the Midwest here, and all grew up together, So it was just cool, But yes, so Mike's even talking about it here. I'm going to grab my truck and I'm going to show you what it looks like on the truck. I have the engine removed because we brought it for a spare for Seth. He didn't need it, but we brought it. And
all right.
Can anybody explain to me what this means right here? What does that mean? The daiquiri man. What the fuck? What is this?
This is the brake rotor that you can see up in there.
Whoa.
So it's just a single cam brake rotor.
So, pardon me for being semi-retarded. How do you get rear brake?
You don't.
You can't change the bias. You can change the bias by changing fluid in the diff like you would an e-buggy. And that's a good question, guys, because I don't know if you want to look at it anymore. Maybe I'll keep it handy so I can pick it up and show you guys if you want to see more. But this is your standard twin brake. Okay. It's got twin brakes on it. This is your single brake. So your brake goes on the front. This brake goes on the front of your diff, and then your gear to your diff is right here. Okay. So your gear is here and this is on the front. And I'll chase that argument with Chase saying, well, how do you get more rear brake? Have you ever talked to a guy with an e-buggy? Has he ever said to you, man, I need more rear brake in my e-buggy?
No, not at all.
No,
so
they say
right.
I need more brake.
They
say I need more brake in my e-buggy. Well, they just go on their radio and turn it up. That's what you do here, dude. Once you set the deadband, if you want more brake, just go on the radio and turn it up, yo. It feels like, honestly, for me, it feels amazing.
That's cool.
Because when I run one of my e-truck on the weekend, on the same week as I run my Nitro truck, it's one less thing that feels different between the two.
Dude, that's
the
great.
gas always feels different.
It just
but
reminds
now my
me,
brake,
when Lieutenant Dan's talking to Forrest Gump, and he's like, "We don't got to worry about money anymore." And he's like, "Oh, that's good. One less thing."
So yeah, we're going to be, Yeti RC and I are going to be releasing this spring of. We're in late stages, so I'm probably going to race it this weekend. Probably going to have Sully. He's my other test mule. Seth, we don't want to, offend Tekno or anything like that, by saying that, and really honestly, dude, top pros might not want this. They might want to be able to change their brake from front to rear, but brakes on these cars, the rotor is on the outdrive, and the outdrive is, greased through a sleeve, and that sleeve wears out over time, or the outdrive wears over time. You get a little slop in the disc to the outdrive, and then you get this brake feel, this whoop, 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 whoop. And everybody's like, oh, that's just like analog brakes. No, it's not. It's inconsistent braking is what it is. You need to replace the center diff cup, the spur gear, the two outdrives, and the discs. With this, it's centrally mounted right on the thing. There's no loping. There's no, so I really think once, we're in the late stages of everything. And I'm actually currently running it with good success. So, yeah, I'm super excited, to be releasing it. And then we'll probably take a look, as Yeti RC and I'll probably take a look at like other brands, because it all depends on if it, number one, if the diff cup, like if I can grab one, like Tekno has the holes that go all the way through. So the front of the diff cup.
So is the reason why you made
right
the disc so big so you can bolt it to the cup?
Yeah, the disc has to be that big in order, to bolt it to the cup. You
Gotcha.
kind of put it right on.
I was wondering why the disc was so much bigger.
Yeah,
and it's just bolted to the cup versus the out drives, which the out drives only work on one side, whereas the cup is the entire thing.
You guys want me to rip this one out of the truck so you can see it with all the out drives and everything on there?
So
I don't know if we have enough time. We only got 15 minutes left in the show. So we'll see.
But yeah,
is this?
Dude. I mean,
I think it's cool.
I think it's cool. I think we can do more than I love Tekno, and man, they've supported us so much. But I got to try and keep innovating. So here we are, man. I just kind of going on, and I think this is probably one of our next big deals. So
it's
we've
very
had others in
innovative.
the past.
But is that being bolted to the diff cup a lot like changing the feel? It'd be like how when the old Tekno clutch, the Tekno electric clutch, trying to make an electric car feel more like a nitro car. You're almost trying to make a nitro car feel more like an electric car.
Well, the car accelerates. You don't have this acceleration bias, like you have brake bias. So the car accelerates with the oil that's in the center. So like, really honestly, man, like people can't tell. They have no idea that I'm running a car with a single, the car does not look any different. It does feel different on the trigger. It feels much more similar to an e-car, except for like an e-car, when it's high speed has a ton of brake.
Right.
An e-car at speed has a ton of brake. At low speed, it has very little brake. So that's where you'll see like e-cars kind of get into each other in slow corners and stuff, because the braking fades because the rotor resistance isn't there. Where this, dude, it's brake.
Yeah, it's braking on the cup
brake.
versus
it does not fade
on one or the other out drive. So it's very innovative.
It's very smooth.
And
it's very smooth
with torque on the actual cup. Because now you're braking on the cup and everything. Have you noticed?
You're braking on the cup, yeah.
Are you noticing any more wear on the cups or anything?
No,
like
nothing yet. Nothing like that. We had some growing pains at first with it, but we've kind of knocked those out with some inserts and some other things I don't want to talk about, because if somebody else is trying it, which could be, it doesn't mean that I'm the man. That's I mean, Fuller, 2 months after we're in development, Fuller starts talking about it at a race with me. I didn't even bring it up. He's the one who brought it up to me. So I'm like trying to hold a straight face while talking to Mike, because he's a good friend, and it's like, so then
I'm all about simplifying anything. And it pretty much seems like you simplified a lot of parts and all kinds of, brake kit, springs and rods.
Does it come with the lube and cable?
There was some excitement, a couple years ago with some electronic braking systems, for the car and stuff like that. And it just kind of, I don't know if that just kind of fizzled because of the cost of it or whatever. But
it's still coming. It's still coming at some.
Yeah, matter of fact, you just got a patent on it. The way I saw it the other day.
Yeah, I mean, this bolts right to your car. This is all you need. This is it. You use, for Tekno wise, we use the same two brake calipers. We use the same,
very cool.
all the parts.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Minimal, you got to buy a brake disc, what'll come in the kit is a brake disc in the upper half of the diff.
Yeah. You're onto something, man. That's very cool.
I would like to just go out on a limb here and say that Bo Jornhorst is an asshole. I mean, no matter what anybody says, he is completely always an asshole. # Bo Jornhorst asshole.
Actually, Joe texted me after the win, and said congratulations. And Joe, I mean, Joe and Seth get along good. Me and Joe get along good. I know Brent's kind of maybe referring to something that was at LCRC, but It's good, dude. Like
No,
Joe, I have super
I'm
respect
actually
for
not.
Joe.
I'm not referring to anything at LCRC.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
referring to him
Okay.
texting me and saying some dumb shit.
No, yeah, he's been texting me too throughout the show, and I think
He's-
his love language is just being a dickhead.
Yeah, and he just texted me and said, "Bring this guy on every week, best show ever." So he is not being an ass to you; he's being an ass to me. So long story short, he's the man. Like he's. I'm talking.
Joe's
shit to
awesome,
him,
dude. I was a
awesome.
huge fan. I was a huge fan of Joe Borhorst just when he was running short course at E-Buggy, man. He was the man, dude. It was cool to see
just short course.
An ex-moto guy come out and then he started running nitro and like, dude, it was cool. It was really cool to watch him, mature into a pro and then be able to be on the same team with him. And it was awesome. It was really great.
Joe's a
awesome
good dude,
guy.
man.
Yeah, and like Scott White said, he said he's tired of checking bias after or before every run. I mean, this is
dude.
another,
like you don't know how many pros, dude. I was just completely laughing at Silver State. Everybody's just like, you want to feel it? No. Joey Bourdon's like, you check my brakes. I'm like, all right, I'll check your brakes.
Dude, you just eliminated
I'm
all
just
of
like,
that.
man,
I mean,
give me a couple months, dude. It's right there. We're just like we're really close. So I wanted to, I wanted to ride the wave of,
we're killing
of media,
tonight.
I wanted to ride the wave of media that's following Seth right now. And, Seth's just not a driver, man. Like he's a complete package engineer. He was a machinist for a year and a half. That just got in the way. I was friends with the machine shop owner and he brought Seth in and gave him free reign to be able to take off and go racing. And then they sold the machine shop and they kind of took that away from Seth. And Seth's like, dude, you don't understand. I'm going racing. I'm telling you, I'm not asking for time off.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going. If the job isn't here when I get back, then the job ain't here when I get back, So, yeah.
Well, good thing he's got a boutique cabinet shop or counter shop that he can work at. It sounds like you guys make some rad shit there too. So either way, he's going to be making cool stuff. So,
maybe he could hook you up with something on your walls, Brent.
What? What's just happening?
Like some shelves for your walls.
Right man.
By what he just said, it would cost me a LTL truck freight to get it here.
No. Well, I probably spent $200 on these little shelves right here. Home Depot trips.
Well, we're gonna be going to P&B, so put your order in, and I'll bring it with you because we're driving.
Now we're talking. P&B, I will be there. I'm looking forward to it. That is literally my next race.
I haven't decided if I'm gonna race this there, if I'm gonna bring my nitro and race it there.
You are, because you don't race buggy though, do you?
No, I don't. I practice buggy. But buggy makes me want to throw my radio at it. I have really bad driver stand
other
Tourette's.
drivers I know.
Yeah, I have really bad driver stand Tourette's when I run buggy. It's bad enough with truck, but it gets really bad with buggy.
It just gets a little smoothed out with truck. With perfect balance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm looking forward to going to P&B. It's not my favorite race to go to. I mean, I love Dave and the race time races, but I'm looking forward to it because I've been so deprived of racetrack in the last the last time I raced was Fall Brawl in December. So I really need some therapy.
You're gonna have to knock the rust off, yo.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna suck. I'm gonna suck. But that's kind of like my my reintroduction to racing before nationals, like trying to get everything ready to go to Thornhill. So I'll race from PNB all the way to nationals. I'll race pretty heavily, but I won't be able to race until PNB. So man, I'm looking forward to it. I miss all my people, man. I haven't been to a big race in a while, and I'm normally at DNC and these races where everyone's at and get this, be part of everything that's happening. And I haven't been able to the last 3 to 4 months. So
I kind of missed you at DNC. It would have been good to, maybe throw some golf balls around at like 3 a.m. or something like that.
That would happen. 100%. That would happen.
Nice.
Among other things.
Another LCRC reference right there.
Yeah. So. There's no telling what else would happen.
I think I ended up crashing in your motorhome or something.
It's a very good possibility. There's no telling, man. Anytime.
Yeah.
Just, come on.
Well, Sean, you were a
Okay.
hell of a guest, man. Provided a lot of cool insight and new products
Cool.
possibly coming out, man. Thank you for coming on so much, dude. Great guest.
Yeah, man. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was awesome. I'm glad I could make it happen. And I was just happy to,
Happy it all worked out.
For you guys to allow me to come on, dude. Awesome. I was really kind of apprehensive. Even Chase kind of got the feel of it when we were at DNC. I'm like, oh man, I don't know, but it was good, dude. I'd really love, I'd do it again. I'd do it again. We could talk about these long race. We could do a whole nother podcast about these long races like Psycho Nitro, Brad.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll make it a point to have you back on. It won't be like the next one, but it might be the one after. You never know.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right. There's just no way me as an employer that I could ask my employees to work 4 18-hour days in a row and still have employees. So let it be known that the RC industry is very, very fortunate, because I wouldn't be able to pull that off.
I mean, we're not going to get into it.
We just dove into a whole nother.
Yeah, we can definitely save this for
it's
another
8
day.
o'clock. You can't see me, but I'm pinching it because I got to pee.
Oh, I got to pee so bad. I'm on this thing. Like I'm on this this drinking game thing, and it's fucking. I got to pee so bad. But the just real quick, the only thing I'm going to say is, it's different from going and digging holes for 18 hours than it is racing RC cars for 18 hours. Yeah. So I understand, like, it kind of sucks as but these guys are fortunate because there's only a handful of them. And I definitely don't want to hear one guy bitch to me about that. I know a lot of people that would take an 18-hour day of racing RC cars over something else, but I understand. It's still work. It's still work, and it's still a job for them. So I get that part. So.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
All right, Sean. Well, that's awesome, man. Like Chase said, thank you so much, and we appreciate you coming on. You had a lot of people on in the comment section that are obviously friends and fans. That means a lot to us that you guys all joined us tonight. So thank you guys. We appreciate you. Hopefully you guys will like and subscribe to our channel and come back. We're always here every other week. So we're back in 2 weeks. What's your next race, Sean? Where are you guys heading to next? P&B or?
Seth and I are heading down to P&B.
Okay.
I think it's just going to be us unless we find another Minnesota guy that wants to tag along. So.
You got any sponsors or anybody else you guys want to mention before we?
Oh, dude, like really, really, man. I know Drew Singer, and all that stuff, but Matt Kennedy at Senate RC, stand-up guys, really, he was like you, Brent, when Seth was young and saw the talent, saw a twinkle of talent, and was like, hey, if I, and I came to you, and he's like, yeah, I think we can help you guys, and it was awesome. And Matt Kennedy at Senate has done that, the guys at VP Racing, dude, I mean, they're up there on the banner, yeah. And they sponsored Seth when he was 12 years old. Seth's 24 now. Wow. So, I mean, and that's what, we've been with Tekno for 7 years, we're not guys that jump around. We really believe in the products we run. So yeah, I want to thank all those guys, Tekno, J Concepts, man, we've ran for them for even longer. So yeah, great. I mean, we just have wonderful sponsors, dude. Really do. Can't thank them all enough. So
well, you can't do it without them. That's for sure. So
right. Yep.
Thanks to all of them, and we appreciate them, and we appreciate you guys. So good luck and congrats on a huge win for the both of you.
Yeah.
And good luck to you guys at PMB. I will be there. I'm just wishing you luck so everybody knows that I wish you luck.
I wish you luck too.
Yeah. There you go. See, what if you didn't wish him luck? You would have been an asshole. I'm glad you just wished him luck.
I'm definitely bringing my gear to PNB.
We're wishing so much luck.
Yeah, we race. I don't know, do they have like a 40+ class and truck there? Because a lot of times
probably they probably have fucking
50
and 60 pluses. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, well, Sean, I can run the 50 plus for sure.
If you don't bring me one of those pit totes, I'm gonna be.
What do you want, dude? I do like did a Miller Lite one for my buddy Mike Myers.
Nope.
You want an Ultra? What do you want, yo?
No, I'm not a pussy.
Text it to me. Well, that, Mayfield's been kind of on this ultra kick, and I don't want to bag of Mayfield at all.
What?
It's kind of like, well, what happened there? I
Oh,
thought maybe
no, that is news.
Maybe
That more breaking news tonight, dude. Like, he's gone from
this week, last weekend, I did see him drinking Coors Light again. So maybe
there's a new servo coming out with Dakota. There's a fucking single brake disc coming out, and fucking Mayfield drinking ultras, dude. Like, what did we?
not a DNC. I spotted him at another race.
DNC.
Where it wasn't SIC.
I was going to confirm.
It was an SIC.
What a night, dude. All this breaking news is so good.
I know.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate you. I'll see you at PNB. Chase.
Yes, sir.
Go drain, bro. It's all
I'm
good.
trying.
He's just.
I'm trying to delay just because I can see you squirming.
Got that championship winning truck right there, guys. Right there.
Oh, look at that!
Yes,
bad
sir.
right there.
Nice,
dude. It was hilarious because I know you're getting close to the end, but on E-Truggy Day, I'm like, Seth, let's just take the shocks off of this. They were good, dude. Let's put them on the E-Truck. He's like, no, don't touch that truck. And I'm like, well, can I?
Don't you touch that truck, Dad.
Don't touch that truck, Dad.
I'm like, dude, he's like, I'm going to take everything in green Loctite. I'm going to use red sleeve lock on everything so you don't take nothing off it. Yeah. So
nice.
I've been banned. So let it be warned that Model X needs to send us an engine because we need to get going. So.
Well,
that's you, right?
Yeah, that's me. So unfortunately, there's like some kind of backup on the OS manufacturing line. And so everyone's waiting right now. So we have a large shipment of engines coming sometime this month, into this month. But yeah, man, it's a struggle, man. I mean, we fight it with everything.
I got a few of them. They're on top of the boxes right there.
Hell yeah.
I got the ultimate right in there.
And my microphone is sitting on one.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I got like 6 or 7 customer engines in the garage right now. So in different stages of modding and EBIS and stuff like that. So
well, keep up the good work, Sean. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate Seth, and we'll see you soon.
All right, guys.
Man. Thanks for your time.
Have a good night.
Peace out, guys.
Later.
All right. Before we cap this off, man, what a good guest. Holy cow.
What a guest, dude. What a night. Like the comments were raging. The freaking people were just posting comments it was awesome. Good guest and a lot of fun, man. I haven't laughed in a couple weeks because a lot of shit's been serious and I needed this. I needed a good night like this. And I want to thank Quincy Atkins for giving me this beautiful bottle of Heaven Hill bottled in bond whiskey right here that everyone says is going to be really good. I can't wait to drink some of it. Shout out Quincy Atkins. That was my sponsor for the night, my personal sponsor. Most people when they're alcoholics, they have a sponsor that says, don't drink whatever. And I have sponsors that give me alcohol.
We live a tough life, my man. Tough life.
Live a tough life. Got a lot of good friends, good customers. I appreciate all of them.
Right on. But before we close out, let's thank all of our sponsors that are helping us out with the show. Our title sponsor, OneUp Racing. Thank you, Randy. Keep cranking out those badass commercials, man.
Hell yeah.
They're really cool and good to see some quality like that. Like Brent said, it's pretty awesome. Pro Motion Tires, Nitro Pro, and Tekno, our other title sponsors. Thank you very much. And then J&T Bear & Co., TZO Tires, Beach RC, RC Box Club, Racecraft USA, RC Sign Up, and Wolf Den. And last but not least, our newest sponsor on the block, Get Shit Done Coffee. Go out there.
That name. I like
make
that name.
America grind again and get.
I'm not gonna lie. I love that. I love that name. Get Shit Done.
And I love that we got our first outside of RC sponsor. That's really special to me. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can gain some more. And yeah, I think it's rad.
Good stuff. Well, thank you. It's good seeing you. I know I don't get to see you too often. Every other week.
Yeah, but not in person. Not in the flesh.
You're like my child from my ex-wife. It's I only get to see you every other week. So
you know what I think, because that background you got there, is that actual laminate or is that just like a thing you got on Amazon like I got?
No, this is legit laminate on the wall. This the when we moved in here, there you can't see it, but it's a pretty big wall because this is going to be our media room, where we do unboxing videos, how-to videos, stuff like that. So the wall is actually pretty long that direction. Podcast studio is going to be on this side right here, for our sit-ins and obviously for the lives. But no, that's legit laminate that somebody put on the wall.
Because I had an idea. I was thinking if you got the same backdrop as I did, it would look like we're in the same room, and we could like.
It's not happening. It's
I thought it would
not,
be. It would look kind of cool.
No, not happening.
Okay.
This is staying on the wall right here. I
But
like it a lot.
If you turn into a different wall for the podcast, you could do some brick, and then we could both be in the brick house.
Oh shit! You just laid
Welcome
down
to
the
the brick
line.
house.
Welcome
You know?
to the brick house. No, not happening, bro.
Okay, fuck. Well, I'm in the brick house.
You're in the shit house. Let's go.
Oh baby, getting
All
shit
right.
done in the shit house.
Dude, I like you. I'm like pinching and twisting, dude. I have got to pee so bad.
I already let it rip just a little bit. I'm good for another 5 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, I'm not.
That's how I roll.
You want to talk with just Robert?
No.
Oh man, he just broke his heart, bro.
I'm sorry, Robert. I can't see you. It's like talking to God.
You know, it is like talking to God.
Oh, it's kind of like that, huh?
Yeah, that's like that. I like that. Speaking of gods, we haven't heard from Barry the RC guy.
Can we stop talking?
Or John from Arizona in months. Like, where are our fucking fans at? I think if everybody starts posting, we need more of those guys. Maybe they'll show up because sometimes they provide us some good entertainment. All right, that's it. I got to go. I don't care about Jason's wiener. It's time to fucking call it quits. Have a good night. We appreciate all of you. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.